Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn about manual forecasting option. First, let us see where it is and then we will understand its significance. We'll go to manage forecast models and we'll create a model. We are asked to select the planning area, test manual forecasting. We'll do it at a month level and historical periods will look at 12 months of data and 12 months of in the future we will forecast. And in the forecasting steps, we will choose the actual adjusted quantity. And we will choose the forecast to be in the statistical forecast. We'll add an algorithm, any exponential smoothing or something. I'll say, okay, 6 it is. And we'll save this model. We'll go to an app called manual forecasting. And we will create a manual forecasting profile for a product. So now we see that we have created a forecast model and we went to the manual forecasting app also, where we see that there is no product added. Now let's see where the manual forecasting comes. So here in this general tab of the forecast model, there is an option of considering the product lifecycle information, and then there is an option of manual forecasting. So what happens is that by default, manual forecasting cannot be chosen. Only if product lifecycle information is chosen, then only we get to select the manual forecasting option. So let us have it selected. Now let us understand the concept. So what it is that for certain products, we want to have the forecast generated manually. We want to tell IBP that don't generate the forecast for this product for a certain period of time, because we know that this product is going to be sold this much quantity every month. Maybe that input comes from marketing team, their research, or maybe we want to copy another existing product from my same firm or a different company. But yeah, by some knowledge, I know that this is the forecast I want to put it in this product within this period. So what we will do is that so I want only to be the forecast to be loaded with a fixed value for the planning period, right? So what I would do is that I will create this manual forecasting profile. I will add and I will select product ID. Okay, and I'm selecting month and each at a product dimension, product ID. So what it asks me an option of that what is the fill start date, what is the forecast start date. So I will select the forecast start date for April 1. And I want to say that this product is going to be phased in April. And then the base value, I want it to be filled in with a fixed value throughout the planning period. I am not selecting anything else. I click on OK and I click on save. Right? So when now I will run the forecast model. This is the forecast model that we created. We'll choose this. It runs at each level, at a month level. And I have this as a filter, right? So let's see. Okay, this is finished. Let's refresh. So we see that within that 12 months period that we chose to generate the forecast, this is generating the same value that I have given as a base value in the manual forecast, right? Base value is 100. Now I want to also do one thing is instead of in generating 100, I want to first generate 100 for a certain period, right? I want to generate 100 for 6 months. And then, because in 6 months, I'm saying that it is say, going to sell 600 units. And then after 6 months, it is going to sell a different unit. Right? So after April, May, June, July, August, September. So from October, it is going to sell a different unit. And I want to generate the same volume for the first 6 months. But then I want to generate 1,000 units for the next 6 months. And I will say that this is, so it calculates that 167 is the amount it will generate for each month. Save this and run the forecast model. Okay. So now we see that in the first 6 months, it ran 100 units, and then it is generating 1,000 units in the next 6 months, which it calculated that it is going to be 167 units per month. Right? But I may want also to it to not have a linear sale, but it may be increasing in a certain percentage. So let's see how to do that. So what I will do in that case is I will again go to edit. I'll select this, and I will say that it doesn't increase by a constant value, but it increases by a certain trend. I'm saying that let it start with a certain value, but then let it increase by a certain percentage of the previous value. And so if I give 100, so suppose let's start with 100, right? So what will happen is that it will start with 167, then it will get 267, then it will go to 367, 467, and likewise. Yeah, so let's do that first. So basically, to just to understand the concept here, for the first 6 months, what we did is that we said that okay, you generate only total 600 units with in 6 months, right? So 100 unit in each month, and the next 6 months you sell me 1,000 units, right? So 167 in each month. Now, what I'm going to say is that now instead of 167, you sell first month 167, the next month 267, the next month 367, next month 467, just increase by 100, so that's what we are saying here in this model, that you increase the trend of the previous value by 100. So let's run this model. Okay, refresh. So over here we see that it started with 167, then 267, 367, 467, 567, and 667. We can actually see the simulated figure also. How would it look in this application itself? So I'll run this, and then I'll say that 1,000 for 6 months, 1,000 for 6 months, right? And trend value is 100, right? So then source simulation. So what it says is that first 6 months it goes to 100, and then it increases to these values. And now what we will do is instead of increasing by a certain value, I say that you increase by a certain percentage. So it increases by 90% every time of the previous value. And we'll get to see what are the values that it will choose by the simulation. So in the sense that first value would be 167, the second value will increase by 100 because of the trend value. But then the third value will not increase by 100, but 90% of 100, which is 90. So 267, it does not get to 367, but 357. The fourth value will be 90% of the earlier difference, which is 90. So 90% of 90 is 81. So the next value increases by 81 instead of 90, the previous value. And let's understand the concept again. So now what it happens is that instead of just here, we saw that the difference between them was just a constant number. It's increasing by a certain amount. But now what we want is to that the next this set of numbers is actually increasing in a certain value. So first, the first will increase by 100. Right. So this is like this plus this value. The next increment will be 90% of the previous value increase, and this value would be that increase, that percentage of increase, right? And likewise, so if I do till here and I do till here, so these are the values that we are likely to see. And let's see in the simulation what is the value. So now we see that first is 167 to 67, so 167 to 67, and then 357 438, so 357 438, and then 510 and 567, so 510 and 576, sorry, so 576.51. So this is how it is showing that the value will increase. Now let's save this model, right? So let's do this, okay, and save this model and run that forecast. It's finished. Let's refresh. So now what we see is that it has increased, and let's see, 167 to 67. So 167 to 67, then 357, then 438, right? 377, 438, and then we increase the decimal points. So 510.9, and then 576.51, right? So this is how it is generating the forecast based on the manual forecast value that we specify in the manual forecast app. So this is the significance of the manual forecasting option that you see in this manage forecast models.